You learn a lot about someone when you share a meal together. What nicer thing can you do for somebody than make them breakfast? The fact that over 50% of the residents of Toronto are not from Canada, that is always a good thing, creatively, and for food especially. That is easily a city's biggest strength, and it is Toronto's unique strength. Barbecue may not be the road to world peace, but it's a start. If I'm in Rome for only 48 hours, I would consider it a sin against God to not eat cacio e pepe, the most uniquely Roman of pastas, in some crummy little joint where Romans eat. I'd much rather do that than go to the Vatican. That's Rome to me. Hong Kong is a wonderful, mixed-up town where you've got great food and adventure. First and foremost, it's a great place to experience China in a relatively accessible way. Meals make the society, hold the fabric together in lots of ways that were charming and interesting and intoxicating to me. The perfect meal, or the best meals, occur in a context that frequently has very little to do with the food itself. When I'm back in New York, and this is a terrible thing to complain about, I eat a lot more really good food than perhaps I'd like to. So many of my friends are really good chefs. It's kind of like being in the mafia. Oh yes, there's lots of great food in America. But the fast food is about as destructive and evil as it gets. It celebrates a mentality of sloth, convenience, and a cheerful embrace of food we know is hurting us. I'm a radical environmentalist. I think the sooner we asphyxiate in our own filth, the better. The world will do better without us. Maybe some fuzzy animals will go with us, but there'll be plenty of other animals, and they'll be back. People's choice to become vegan, from people I've spoken to, seems motivated by fear. The cooking profession, while it's a noble craft and a noble calling, 'cause you're doing something useful, you're feeding people, you're nurturing them, you're providing sustenance, it was never pure. Doing graphic novels is cool. It's fun. You get to write something, and then see it visually page by page, panel by panel, working with the artist, you get to see it fleshed out. You have an impeccable argument if you said that Singapore, Hong Kong, and Tokyo are food capitals. They have a maximum amount of great stuff to eat in the smallest areas. I don't think people should be encouraged to look like Kate Moss. I think that's unreasonable. I think the normal human body should be glorified. By the same token, if you need a stick to wash yourself, you're not healthy. I always entertain the notion that I'm wrong, or that I'll have to revise my opinion. Most of the time that feels good, sometimes it really hurts and is embarrassing. Get up early and go to the local produce markets. In Latin America and Asia, those are usually great places to find delicious food stalls serving cheap, authentic and fresh specialties. Every chef I know, their cholesterol is through the roof. And mine's not so great. I've seen zero evidence of any nation on earth other than Mexico even remotely having the slightest clue what Mexican food is about or even come close to reproducing it. It is perhaps the most misunderstood country and cuisine on earth. Context and memory play powerful roles in all the truly great meals in one's life. Sometimes the greatest meals on vacations are the ones you find when Plan A falls through. I like telling stories, and I tell stories that interest me. It would be boring to have to go to nothing but the best restaurants. That would be a misery to me. You'd have a hard time finding anything better than Barcelona for food, as far as being a hub. Given a choice between Barcelona and San Sebastian to die in, I'd probably want to die in San Sebastian. My house is run, essentially, by an adopted, fully clawed cat with a mean nature. I'm not afraid to look like a big, hairy, smelly, foreign devil in Tokyo, though I do my best not to. I really do. You can call me the bad boy chef all you want. I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm not that bad. I'm certainly not a boy, and it's been a while since I've been a chef. You know, from age 17 on, my paycheck was coming from cooking and working in kitchens. One of life's terrible truths is that women like guys who seem to know what they're doing. I'm very proud of the Rome episode of No Reservations because it violated all the conventional wisdom about making television. You're never, ever supposed to do a food or travel show in black and white. Bad food is made without pride, by cooks who have no pride, and no love. Bad food is made by chefs who are indifferent, or who are trying to be everything to everybody, who are trying to please everyone. Bad food is fake food, food that shows fear and lack of confidence in people's ability to discern or to make decisions about their lives. I feel that if Jacques Pepin shows you how to make an omelette, the matter is pretty much settled. That's God talking. Food is everything we are. It's an extension of nationalist feeling, ethnic feeling, your personal history, your province, your region, your tribe, your grandma. It's inseparable from those from the get-go. I don't have much patience for people who are self-conscious about the act of eating, and it irritates me when someone denies themselves the pleasure of a bloody hunk of steak or a pungent French cheese because of some outdated nonsense about what's appropriate or attractive. If anything is good for pounding humility into you permanently, it's the restaurant business. For a dinner date, I eat light all day to save room, then I go all in, I choose this meal and this order, and I choose you, the person across from me, to share it with. There's a beautiful intimacy in a meal like that. Understand, when you eat meat, that something did die. You have an obligation to value it, not just the sirloin but also all those wonderful tough little bits. Anyone who's a chef, who loves food, ultimately knows that all that matters is it good? Does it give pleasure? Southeast Asia has a real grip on me. From the very first time I went there, it was a fulfillment of my childhood fantasies of the way travel should be. My mom had Julia Child and the Fanny Farmer cookbook on top of the refrigerator, and she had a small repertoire of French dishes. In America, there might be better gastronomic destinations than New Orleans, but there is no place more uniquely wonderful. Don't dunk your nigiri in the soy sauce. Don't mix your wasabi in the soy sauce. If the rice is good, compliment your sushi chef on the rice. Tokyo would probably be the foreign city if I had to eat one city's food for the rest of my life, every day. It would have to be Tokyo, and I think the majority of chefs you ask that question would answer the same way.